The Pittsburgh Penguins have made multiple surprising moves as we get a major update on two players in particular, including Evgeni Malkin, and something that fans are very confused about. But not only that, we have a major update on one of the young players on the Penguins, a massive opportunity for this player, and it has major implications on the team moving forward. We're going to break it all down in this episode of Penguins Digest. But before we get into all of that, a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. We've noticed that about 67% of you who watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. So if you want to stay up to date with everything that's happening with the Pittsburgh Penguins, go down below, hit that free subscribe button, and you get to stay up to date with everything that's going on with the Pens. Now, lots to get into today, Mark. We have some major injury updates, and we'll start with that right now. And something that isn't really good, first of all, and something that fans are not, happy about and we're wondering about, especially with Evgeni Malkin. But as you can see here, making some moves. Danton Heinen and Sam Poulin have been recalled from Wilkes-Barre Scranton of the AHL, and Evgeni Malkin and Blake Lizotte, have been placed on injury reserve. Now, they're just on the regular IR, so they're just going to miss a couple games at this point, but a lot of fans are very confused about the Evgeni Malkin thing, and he hasn't. We have other updates to get to as well, but he hasn't played in a while. He was labeled as day-to-day, as you can see here on December 7th. So, he did not play against Dallas then. A lot of fans are like, hey, what's going on with this guy? He's also come out and said, a little while ago that he doesn't want to play anywhere else. He wants to hit the finish line one more time here with Pittsburgh, right? All of that stuff to make fans feel good. But he's actually been really good this year, and he's out due to injury. So do you see this affecting the Penguins in a very tight, which we'll get to later in the episode, Eastern Conference?
And I think that's the big thing. Listen, the Penguins have been a huge story this year. A team that a lot of people looked at and said, hey, they're going into a rebuild. They're going to look at a retool. Are they trading Crosby? But now, a team in a wild card race, this is a big blow for the team. You don't want one of your top point producers, not only in team history, but this season alone. Malkin, Crosby, all of these veterans have stepped up. So losing him in this lineup for an extended period of time does suck. You get some guys called up from the AHL, of course, but I do think they're going to suffer a bit. Losing one of the veterans and someone that can go out and get you points every single night as they're looking to hold on to a wildcard spot.
Yeah, and it's a tight Eastern Conference. I mean, they're holding on right now, much like every other team in the Metropolitan Division. But if you look at his points and point production so far this year, he's played 26 games. He has 29 points. Malkin is over a point per game player this year. He's been unbelievable. They came out on a revenge tour this year. Crosby, Letang, Malkin, all of these guys, even Erik Karlsson, all came out on a revenge tour this year. And I'm very excited to see what they continue to do the rest of the year, because Dan Muse has kind of let them be who they are and got back to, making the game fun for them. So again, being without him for this stretch of games is pretty crucial in this point of the season, because there's so many teams that are in the mix right now. So he is day-to-day and looks like he'll miss some time. Now, Danton Heinen, who has been called up for him, of course, has a lot of NHL experience, both with the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Boston Bruins. He spent some time with the Anaheim Ducks and the Vancouver Canucks as well. But, in 12 games so far this year, he has 18 points. He's been really good at the AHL level. So him coming up, he's going to be able to add something to this lineup where if you're calling up maybe a younger player, maybe it wouldn't add to the lineup, right? And you wouldn't be able to produce as much. But I think this makes a lot of sense for the Penguins in terms of if you have to call up a body, obviously it's Danton Heinen at this point. So any thoughts quickly on Danton Heinen before we move on to another major update, because there's a lot going on with the Penguins as of late. I feel like this is, something that he's not going to replace Malkin's production, but it could help until Malkin comes back, hopefully, which is in a couple days' time.
I mean, if he shows that, it's nice, because this was a throw-in piece in the Market Pedersen trade that we've seen happening with Vancouver. Heinen is interesting. You have a guy that can bring speed to a line, a penalty kill. He's a bit of a gritty player. Seeing the production in the AHL, maybe he's turning back things, and you're going to see something. If he comes up, produces, and plays well, perfect. Keep him in the lineup, but you're not going to replace what we're seeing out of the Malkin, over a point per game. But it's nice to see that in the AHL, you have multiple guys you can call up in situations instead of having to maybe play a player that's not ready or not there yet. Things like that. I'm glad they do have veterans like this within the system to join this team.
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of other updates, and let us know how you feel about some of those updates, because obviously missing Malkin's going to suck, but Heinen should be pretty good at the NHL level. Now, Rakell, and this is from the Pens Inside Scoop, is on the ice with his teammates today, and this morning, for the first time since undergoing hand surgery at the end of October. And obviously he was coming off a 75-point campaign last year. He was fantastic. and the Penguins winger has missed the last 18 games after getting surgery. So that's good news. He's back to skating, and obviously he's a big part of this team, not just, for the current team. There's a lot of trade rumors in the summer, and I know they're performing well now, but it's a tight Eastern Conference. Things can change quickly. Any thoughts, Mark, on, Rickard Rakell, him coming back to the lineup? They could use him, obviously, and in a tight Eastern Conference without him, maybe you do look at trading him if you start to fall out of the playoff picture. But if he comes back in short order here and you stay in the playoff picture, there's no world you can trade him. You're trying to make the playoffs and one last hurrah with some of the older guys on this team.
And I think that's the big thing. You're looking at a team that's first in the wild card spot right now in the Eastern Conference. Like you said, it's so close. You lose 2 games and you can drop completely down the standings. Yeah. But this is a Penguins team that is winning games. Yes, there's some turmoil. Yes, there's some things changing. But you're doing this without Rickard Rakell in your lineup. Now, Malkin being out as well is going to hurt. But you have a team that's producing with multiple guys coming out of the lineup with injuries or missing extended period of times because of injuries. So I think getting them back, it's going to be interesting to see the route this team goes. We know how good Sidney Crosby's in. 30 points in 27 games. One of the best goal-scoring seasons we've seen out of Crosby, which is insane to say, in the fact that he's 38 years old. Father Time has not won that battle yet. Darius getting healthy. It's going to be interesting what we see Dubas do. He might look and say, hey, let's showcase Rakell during this stretch of games. But they could also look, like you said, and say, hey, we're producing, we're performing, we're in a wild card spot. Let's just stick with this. Let's ride and see, can we get that chip?
Absolutely, and I think time will tell, and we'll see how long Malkin's out. That could be, pretty significant. And speaking of significant for some younger players, with Heinen and Poulin coming up, that opens the door for a multitude of opportunities for some younger players with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins, who have been very good this year as well. And of course, you got the goaltending. We know some of the prospects that are down there. And Gabe Klassen, for example, I wanted to give a shout out to Tony here for this article. Go check it out. He's talking about how this opens the door for him now for the next little while to take advantage of how well he's been playing and get more ice time, more of an opportunity. And he's a guy we'll be keeping an eye on as well. But in terms of some other updates, of course, the Penguins do play tonight. Archer Sheeloz is going to be starting tonight. Jack St. Ivany is day-to-day with a right foot injury as well. So more injuries piling up for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And another, obviously, Rickard Rakell, which we touched on. But something I want to get to now is Harrison Brunicke has made Team Canada's, at least the preliminary roster, and I wanted to get into this to end the video because Ben Kindle has not made the roster, which I think is pretty shocking. Like, I feel like both of them should be there. I'm not saying Brunicke shouldn't be there, and congratulations to him. Of course, he still has to make the team. There could be some cuts. They're bringing a bunch of guys, and they're going to be making some cuts over the course of the next couple of weeks. But he has been named to Team Canada. He's going to be missing at least some time away from the Pittsburgh Penguins, but that's great. And obviously, the Ben Kindle thing, I think that is absurd at this point. I cannot believe that he didn't make the team. You can see the numbers. What he's done at the NHL level this year is phenomenal. You can see what he's done in junior in the past here and where he was drafted. I think it's ridiculous that he's not on this team pie, but congratulations to Brunicke nonetheless, because he's going to have at least an opportunity to fight for a spot there.
And I think it's interesting with Kindle. Listen, looking at his stats, the NHL level, you see in the juniors everywhere, but I feel like this could be a Kyle Dubas thing. Looking at a young guy, you're a couple weeks into the season, you're like, hey, we're going to loan you. We know you can perform, but we want you to go down. But looking at the impact he has on a Penguins team, like you said, in a current playoff spot, wildcard at least, this is a team that maybe they don't want to change things up. Maybe they look at Ben Kindle and say, yes, going to the World Juniors, it's awesome. You get to play for your country on a big stage, but we want you here right now. So maybe behind closed doors, management looked at the Team Canada committee and said, hey, we're not sending them. Don't select them. Don't even think about it at this point.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I'll leave it at that. And we want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments, because I have my thoughts. Pi, you have your thoughts. I've seen a lot out there on social media right now about the selection and all of that stuff. So let us know how you feel. And do you think this actually makes it easier for Team USA at this point? Because, of course, there is a little bit of a conflict of interest. Some of the best prospects on the Penguins are Canadian as well. So pretty interesting. We want to hear what you have to say in the comments about this. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with everything Pittsburgh Penguins.